I'm Rob Clementi. I'm the Chief Executive of Television Education Network. We're holding our annual Agribusiness Law Conference in a couple of weeks, and Geoff Farnsworth from Holding Redlich is with me today to provide a sneak peek into his presentation on supply chain management, an incredibly important topic, particularly today. Geoff, can I ask you this? What is your top tip in relation to legal risk management in agribusiness supply chains?
Look, thank you, Rob. I'm looking forward to speaking at length on this subject in a couple of weeks. But I think what people need to do is really understand the complexities that are inherent in agri-supply chains. There are a number of frictions, I suppose, which are inherent in any supply chain. There's strongly competing interests. And the point of supply chains, I suppose, is to try and balance out those competing interests so that everybody gets what they want, or as much of it as is reasonably practicable. Supply chains in Australian agribusiness are complex, as I say. They can involve domestic transport, domestic procurement, as well as international procurement, shipping contracts, bills of lading, shipping containers. So there's a large number of moving parts. And in many respects, it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. You need to make sure that all of those moving parts connect seamlessly, or as seamlessly as you can reasonably make them, to make sure that, as I say, things go as smoothly as possible. Once they are all connected, things can go very smoothly, and there'll be good business to be done and hopefully some money to be made. But I think in my experience at the moment, I mean, never has the topic of supply chains and agri-supply chains been more prominent, I suppose. Coming out of COVID, we've got headwinds from an international trade perspective. We've got wars. Really, it's sort of the perfect storm, I think, in some respects, of the sorts of things that can challenge supply chains and really, I suppose, shake people out of complacency, which is one of the things that can creep in, just sort of doing business like we've always done. It sort of is ripe for problems. So I think people need to take stock in the current environment. They need to do a bit of a risk analysis, a risk assessment. They need to make sure their contracts, and in particular their standard terms and conditions, which they probably rely on reasonably often, are kept up to date and kept current for the market conditions that they're operating in now, not the market conditions that they were operating in 5 years ago. So that's probably number one. I think it's important to do a risk assessment, to take stock of the various different aspects of your business. Are you an importer? Are you an exporter? Is it domestic? Is it international? Are you using an intermediary, or are you trying to do it all yourself? As I say, there's any number of moving parts, and in the current environment, there's opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity if you get things right. And that is, as I said earlier on, a little bit like putting together the various different pieces of the jigsaw puzzle to make sure that it's all seamless. And I'll be speaking more about this and going into a fair bit more detail in a couple of weeks' time, Rob.
Geoff, thank you very much indeed. If you want to know more, visit our website and download a brochure, and you can register for the event. It's on in Melbourne on the 23rd and 24th of May. Thank you for listening.